start with the latest on the New South Wales flood emergency, where there are currently 50,000 people preparing to isolate across the mid-north coast. The region has been battered by rain, some areas receiving more than 300 mils of rain in the last 24 hours.
There are currently 126 warnings across the region. 31 of those are emergency warnings, affecting more than 9,000 people.
The SES conducting 500 rescues during this event, 339 in just one day.
Let's go live to Nine reporter Erin Ramsey, who's in Taree for us this morning. Erin, what is the latest?
Well, Carl and Sarah, I come to you with some devastating news that a body of a 63-year-old man was found in a home at Motto, not far from here at Taree at the Manning River, due to these serious and now deadly floods. This is a serious emergency, and the rescue efforts are now having to spread even further north today, with rescue efforts turning their attention to the areas of Kempsey, Nambucca Heads and Coffs Harbour, with 300 millimetres of rain expected to lash the coast. This emergency situation is certainly far from over. Now, we saw hundreds rescued from their homes yesterday, waiting up to 10 hours for help to arrive as river levels continue to exceed 2021 flood levels here in Taree. A very emotional day for plenty of locals taken to evacuation centres. Take a listen.
It's broke my heart. It has. It's broke my heart. But I feel sorry for everybody. Not just me, but it's ripping my guts out.
How are you feeling now? What's going through your head?
Oh, what we're going to go through when we go home. Yeah.
Now, emergency crews here at Taree have just concluded a morning meeting and are now getting ready to head back out and assess the situation. But just to recap, we have learnt that the very devastating news that the body of a 63-year-old man was found inside a home at Motto near here where we are in Taree yesterday afternoon, and we'll have more to come throughout the morning.
Oh, it's just tragic. Erin, thank you.
Good afternoon. We'll get straight to breaking new developments in the New South Wales flooding emergency. As we go to air, a second death has just been confirmed. A man aged in his 30s who went missing in Wauchope. It follows the death of 63-year-old David Knowles, found at his farm in Moto. Right now, at least 2 others are missing, a woman in Dorrigo and a man in Nimboida. So far, more than 500 people have been rescued by emergency services, and more than 50,000 have been warned to prepare to be isolated for some time as waters across the region continue to rise. All of this and the rain is still coming, up to 300 millimetres forecast in some towns. Nine's Erin Ramsey is live in Taree. Erin, it's terrible to hear of another death as we learn more about the first man confirmed to have died, David Knowles.
Okay, the 63-year-old is being remembered by his family as a hero. David was at his Motto property on Monday when the floodwaters started to rush in. He tried to get to a higher level and told emergency crews to go and help his neighbours and come back for him after. By the time somebody could get back to him yesterday, he unfortunately had passed away. Now, in a statement from his daughter, she said he passed as a hero, sending help away to save others. He didn't want to leave his farm on a good day. We all couldn't be prouder of you, Dad. We love you. And that's just a snippet there of how much he meant to his family and how much he's truly already going to be missed by this community, with messages flooding in online as well for the local baker. Now, we also received news a short time ago that a man who was previously missing near Wauchope has also been found dead, and 2 others still remain missing on the mid-north coast, Kate, sparking a multi-agency mission to locate them.
Yeah, terrible tragedy, Erin, and 2 truckies have also found themselves stuck in floodwaters today.
Yes, they certainly were. 2 truck drivers travelling down from Queensland to Melbourne found themselves stuck on the Pacific Highway, surrounded by water. They both don't know each other, but they both decided to hunker down. This was on Tuesday, and it wasn't until this morning when they realised they didn't quite have enough supplies that they decided to call for help, and Pol Air airlifted them out of there. Here's what they had to say when they finally made it to dry ground. How long did you wait for help?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh my God.
He broke down and he couldn't go anywhere. So I thought, well, I've got to help him.
Oh, wow. So you pulled up your truck and helped him out?
Well, sort of. I thought, well, it's too deep to go anywhere.
And how long ago did you guys get stuck?
A couple of nights ago. I only had a sandwich.
Now, rescues are still continuing and 50,000 people remain cut off by floodwaters, including the main town of Taree, which is just on the other side of the Manning River behind me here. Now, some good news. These water levels are falling. An hour ago, we could not see any of these fences. So you can just see how much of a difference this has already made. And some really good news as well, Kate. Authorities are hopeful that access may be granted once again to the main town of Taree as early as tomorrow night or Saturday morning.
Good news for residents. Erin Ramsey, thank you.
It's a rapidly unfolding disaster on the mid-north coast. Tonight, 3 people are confirmed dead as communities are inundated by record-breaking floodwaters. Emergency crews are at breaking point, with nearly 50,000 people in the danger zone. We have reporters in all the critical locations tonight, and this is the scale of this flood crisis, which stretches from Newcastle to Taree onto Port Macquarie and Coffs Harbour. 9 News reporter Erin Ramsey begins our coverage.
The water torture continues, and so too do the rescues. There's no end to the rain or the misery, as dozens of the elderly are forced from their retirement village. Confirmation today, the flooding disaster, the worst in Taree's history, has taken a tragic turn. 63-year-old grandfather David Knowles, found in floodwaters at his farm at Motto to the north, the local baker had earlier steered rescuers to people next door.
He said, go get the neighbours and the kids. Go get them, I'll be right. I'll be right.
But hours later, his body was discovered. Today, his daughter spoke to 9 News.
My dad was amazing. He would take his shirt off for anyone that needed it. He would give the last 5 cents that he had to anyone who needed it.
And then this afternoon, news of a second death during a media conference with the Premier.
I'm going to have to leave it to police to make that announcement, but unfortunately the community will have to brace for more bad news.
The victim, a man in his 30s who's feared to have driven into floodwaters near Wauchope. And a short time ago, confirmation of a third victim, as authorities search for a 60-year-old woman swept away in a car near Dorrigo and a 49-year-old man last seen in Nimboida, south of Grafton. The scale of this emergency has triggered an unprecedented response. The fire brigade in boats. Going from door to door, they're among 2,500 personnel in the zone, trucks, boats and 10 helicopters. Mobilised to help nearly 50,000 people.
It's one of the largest deployments for a storm cell that we've seen in New South Wales.
And it could get bigger.
Defence stands ready to provide all the assistance necessary.
And this is the front row seat to one of the many daring rescues. A crewman on a Westpac chopper comes knocking.
Hello, anyone in there?
And there was someone home in waist-deep water.
I can't take anything with me.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I've got tablets.
Yeah? We can take small medications, but that's it.
Police are managing the mass evacuations from a control room.
So 2 more rescued and taken to the EOC, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
There was a tearful reunion. A local SES volunteer was working to help others when her children were at home and became isolated by the floodwaters.
There's no words. I have just been so stressed, not knowing whether they're all right, and having them here now, I can continue on with my job.
2 truck drivers on their way to Melbourne found themselves stranded on the Pacific Highway until they got a lift from a chopper. How long did you wait for help?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh my God!
I only had a sandwich.
You only had a sandwich with you? The M1, Australia's busiest motorway, is cut. underwater in numerous places. This is as close as we can get to the main town of Taree, with rapids now also making it difficult for some rescue boats to get across. And with this heavy rain continuing to lash the coast, it'll be days before this town gets some relief. And Taree's CBD is still underwater as some locals dare to venture back. This was the local barbershop.
It literally pushed its way up through the floorboards.
The threat now spreading further north, Kempsey cut in half, surrounding towns isolated too.
We've got a lot of isolated communities. So Smithtown, Gladstone, Southwest Rocks, Crescent Head, all of our downriver communities are isolated. Pretty much we're just a chain of islands on the floodplain at the moment.
Communities caught out by the speed of the emergency, and the shops are now off limits.
I don't think the community was as prepared as they wanted to be. I think just the amount of rain that fell in a short amount of time, they just didn't get the supplies they needed.
Maxville under evacuation orders, the Nambucca River taking over town.
But it hasn't been as high as this before, that's for sure.
And there's more to come, expecting a wave from upstream.
About 6 hours between when it's really heavy up there before the rivers make it all the way down to here.
Yeah, this is a really tough, resilient community. The people on the mid-north coast, they breed them tough up there, but we need them to be tough.
They're also caring. The offer of free food, including KFC.
And stick together, you know, we can rebuild. We've done it before, we can do it again.
No one can safely say when this will end and what will be left when it's over. What is certain, the flood of 2025 will never be forgotten. Erin Ramsey, 9 News.
OK, let's go to Erin in Taree for us tonight. Erin, we've just confirmed that third death.
Yes, Pete, a third person has died in floodwaters, believed to be one of the 2 missing people. Police will be giving an update in less than 30 minutes. Such a tragic day for these communities, and the search and rescue efforts are far from over. They're in fact ramping up. Just before the sun went down here at Taree, a boat was winched out to Jones Island to provide access to people who are cut off there. Still 50,000 people unable to get to any just regular supplies or help. We know that SES crews are going door to door tonight to make sure that those who are staying in their homes and are isolated are safe and going to be okay. As for the Manning River behind me here, those levels are continuing to fall, so some good news there, and authorities are predicting that access across this bridge into the main town of Taree could happen as soon as tomorrow night. Pete?
All right, let's hope so. We'll leave you there in Taree, Erin.